I am doing a live now with everybody here so that I can invite you to a behind the scenes of delivering a keynote. I know how incredibly important it is for all of us to feel self-confident about speaking up and being a public speaker. And today, I would like to take a couple of minutes because a number of people approached me and asked, like, okay, so public speaking is so important for leadership. How do you do it? And I started really putting a lot of methodology behind it because I think that we have to become really activists for our own community and for everyone, not only to activists for our own community, but also for leadership and for growth. There's nothing better than know how to do self-advocacy, self-promotion, delivering of ideas, and it's always the same methodology. Today, I'm invited to be a keynote speaker for the Columbia Business School in New York. It is really a challenging moment because it's been so cold out there in New York, and today is the first day that the sun is coming out and the cherry blossom trees are just across the street. So I'm hoping that I'm able to fill out all that auditorium to have a couple of things where I can deliver value. So you might say, what is the secret, or how do you know what is value? And that is when understanding your audience comes into place. So every time that I am doing a speech and that I'm coming to a place to deliver a keynote, for example, I actually place down who is the audience. I spend a lot of time knowing what they want, what they care for, what the motivation is, drivers and pain points. And I know that this group is a group of ambitious students that are doing their MBAs, that care about their careers, that care about the world, but also that they're Latinos and they want to connect with each other. And I have to deliver to them, I think, that three main things. One of them, and probably the most important thing that I do as a speaker most of the time, is inspiration. It's hope, is a sense of possibility, because when you're bombarded all the time with negative news, it's hard to know that we're going to make it. When, like when you're seeing people that are sacked or entire departments dismantled, when you see the narrative for our community being low, then it's hard to know that it is possible and that you feel so lonely. So inspiration is one of the big goals that I have for today and for many of the things that I do as a speaker. The second piece is education or enlightenment. I came here to talk to really educated students, ambitious students that want value, that want more, that they want to make sure that they are getting to know something. So I'm heavy on data and heavy on resources. And the third piece is to equip these kids that I know are finishing their MBA to go to the workforce with a toolkit ready to go, so that I can provide them with one or two very practical, concrete things that they can be using already in their workforce. So I am coming here and I am very excited about this event. I normally nerd it out as a speaker. I spend a lot of time understanding the audience, understanding my messages, my objectives. So I just said, this is my audience. My three objectives are to inspire, to educate, to enlighten, and number three, to equip. And that turns out to be value, I hope, for people. But I discuss a lot with, the organizers ahead of time. And then I think that the piece that I do is I come ahead of time and I start reading the room and imagining the room. How is it going to feel if you're sitting there? How do I actually break down this gigantic place into something that is not daunting? How I don't get nervous? Well, delivery is key. And for me, I think of two ways, which is the right and the left, and then the center. And I try to place one or two people in the front rows, in the left side, one or two people on the right side, and probably one person in the middle that has a smiley face, that is looking at me and giving me like the thumbs up. Once I identify one person like that, I know that I can sense, I can measure how they are receiving the message, and I can actually start testing how they are reacting to the things I'm saying, and how funny can I be, or how serious should I be, or how data-driven should I be. And last and not least, and then I walk, right? Like I know the space. I'm here alone half an hour before everybody's taking the sun or eating something. I'm actually checking the room. I'm feeling not only the energy, but how am I going to feel myself? And where is my space? Like I'm a keynote. Am I going to be walking around? Am I going to be stuck into, like behind the desk? Or how am I going to do it? I would love to know, how do you do it? And every time you have to do a public speaking engagement, do you actually check it out ahead of time? Do you rehearse like crazy? Or are you like more an improvised person? I would love to be improvisation. I'm nothing like improvisation. I have to know everything. The last piece that I do normally is nerd it out on technology. I want to see every one of my slides. I want to see that they run well. I go and I check, okay, so where's my presentation? I did it already, but I'm going to check it again. And I don't know whether you can see them, but I'm like, okay, so is this the flow that I want? I rehearse it one more time. I'm like, okay, I want to talk about myself here because I want to create some empathy. I check the time that I have so that I know how much time, more or less, can I spend on this one. I have in my mind the goals that I have. I'm checking my slides. Is everything okay? Is the tech okay? Do I have a video? Does the video run or not? Do I have the data right? I just try to remember because I have a lot of data, and you have to mix data with stories if you want to build a narrative on something important. And so I am checking out my data. I did it already, so I'm not gonna do it again. But like I check 1 or 2 times the slides that I want to present, what slides are especially important for this crowd and this team. I check the text so that if I have a video, then I can run it. I'm going to try to put this back so that the organizers don't kill me. All right, I'm not sure what I've done, but I'm going to try to put it back. Done. And so now, since this is a live, I'm going to start talking to this audience. My speech starts like in about 10, 15 minutes. I would love for you to let me know, how do you do it? Would you be interested in getting more in depth later on about not only the speech that I'm going to give, but the reaction of the people? I would love to actually tell you later on. I'm going to actually interview some of the people and say, like, did you feel inspired? Did you feel educated? And did you feel equipped? Because if they don't feel anything like that, then my objectives were wrongly delivered. But if I managed to get a couple of people to tell me I felt inspired, I felt that I learned something, and that I have some tools to give, then it means that my speech was okay. And I think I'm going to leave it there, because I can talk forever, as you can tell. As a public speaker, I like speaking. But the reason why I speak a lot, and actually one more piece, since this is my first live doing this, I never did this before. Like in my entire career, I was always the person doing the speech writing. I never spoke in public, because at the United Nations and, like at the works, at the jobs that I had, either you get credit or you get things done. So I was the one writing the speeches for my bosses, for the Secretary General of the United Nations, for the President of the World Economic Forum, or like that, but I never really delivered something. And the first time that I started, I was petrified. Then you get a little bit more confidence, and then you can start actually learning from other people on how to do it. And now I'm really committing myself to becoming more and more a better public speaker. And not only that, but getting more into spaces, because I know that every time I do so, I'm able to touch someone. If 1 or 2 people every time that I speak feels compelled to become a factivist, then my mission is done. If every time I'm able to inspire someone to feel like, what? My Latinidad is not my barrier, is my superpower. Done. My mission is accomplished. Every time that I'm able to actually equip people to do the win-win-win, great for the community, great for the company, great for society, this is a win. So I'm every time more trying to get to platforms and trying to get to places, because I think that we need to get ourselves the platforms and become the activists that we need. And I couldn't be actually talking, like preaching water and drinking wine. So I started to become at least more studious about how to become a good public speaker. Hasta la vista, amigos. Wish me luck.